Hello, and welcome to It's Art at the End of the Day podcast, and welcome to episode 1. Let me introduce myself. My name is David, and I go under the artist name of Photoglory. I'm a street photographer and photographic artist, but my main love is the photographic artist part. I started, about a year and a half ago, and was brought into this world of art, kicking and screaming, not knowing about it at all. And I've met some wonderful people along the way, who I'm going to interview, as well as talk about art in general and what they do, how they get started and the hurdles they have, and what's going to happen to them in the future. I don't have a swanky recording studio. I have a normal sort of artist studio, so some will be interviewed here, some will be interviewed in their studios wherever they are, and others possibly, if we can't get together, we'll be on the phone. So apologies in advance to maybe differences in sound quality at certain times on certain podcasts. As with my studio, which is in East London by London City Airport, a wonderful place called Royal Albert Wharf. And due to the proximity to the airport, you often get planes flying above. So now and again, when I'm talking to certain people, you will hear the jet engines of the planes going above their heads. As you can tell, I'm new to this podcasting, so it may not be as polished as other podcasts you hear. So please bear with me, and hopefully the quality will go up. It would be a boring podcast with me on my own. So let me introduce my first guest. She's an amazing artist who I met last October at the Parallax Art Fair that shows 3 times a year at Kensington. Her name is Jana, and she comes from South London, although not originally. But we will find out more about that right now. When did you realise you was an artist, or when did you start being an artist?
Good question. I suppose very early in my life, when I look back at my life. I'm 48 now, and when I look back, it was probably the first time I remember holding on to a pencil or crayon. So I remember I have such a vivid memories from my childhood of always doodling on a piece of paper, and I didn't have any choice, but that didn't seem to bother me. I think I liked just drawing, and I was a very different child to my older brother and sister, so I think it was very obvious. I was built of different stuff, more artistic stuff, yeah. And then and that really kind of carried on through my life. I always excelled in school in art, sports, and music. Then throughout my, we call it primary school, so that's from the age of 6 till 14. So I used to go to after school art classes once a week, so that's 14, so it's at 52 weeks times 14 years, and that's where I've learned everything to do with art, from pottery to sketching, drawing, acrylics, everything, history as well. And so I suppose art always has been a big part of my life.
Yeah, I mean, that's good that you've done in school. I did quite a bit in school. I don't think they tend to focus on art like they used to. It's all academic and business orientated and reading, writing and arithmetic now. But yeah, it's good that you did it in school, and that sort of did that sort of.
Yeah, it's very good, because I think when you do art, or anyone who does art or any form of art, you lose yourself completely. It's kind of like a meditation. They call it now meditation and mindfulness. Yeah. But really, that's kind of the time when you are in your own world. You're just calming down. You're making something. You are expressing yourself. And I didn't need friends. I mean, I was okay, but socially, but I was happy on my own just to be creating things. Yeah.
So I didn't know I was going to do this kind of thing, but I've always stared out of the window and dreamt. I don't know about dream. They always say I was a dreamer, but I was looking at shapes and things like that going on.
Well, I'm glad you did, because I'm also very glad we've met last year at the art fair, because honestly, I cannot imagine my life with you not in it. It's just we just clicked on.
Yeah, we did. Really, well,
and I really, really like your photography and how you see world. It's just amazing. And
believe me, that a lot of that is in my head. got a strange way of seeing the world. Yeah, but yeah, well, you sort of like went, hello. And that was the end of that. We started talking. And we started talking from then, which is nice because it's taken me years to come out of my shell. And I find that the more people I meet, the more I become not outspoken, but extrovert more than an introvert. I'm still a bit of an introvert, but yeah, it comes out more and more.
Well, I never see you as an introvert, actually.
Oh, don't.
I think I have seen through you straight away. I've seen those.
Well, you see when people were looking at my pictures and I was just standing there going, hello. That's as far as I'd go. That was probably my introverted part. But
but you see, your pictures are not introverted neither. You see, like what you capture is very kind of like, wow.
That's sort of like the world in my eyes kind of thing. But have you got any inspirations, like artists or people? Don't have to be artists.
Oh, people who inspire me for my art.
Yeah.
Not as such. Not really. I how shall I say this? I would have to kind of go back to my first kind of passion I had. When I was kind of early teenagers, I really enjoyed doing fashion design, but not kind of high street, but kind of more theatre, kind of really flamboyant costume types. And we had no money. We had no money to buy a magazine, to buy a Vogue or anything to do with fashion. So all my creations were really just generated from my head. And believe me, in the 80s Slovakia, there was hardly any trends going on. I mean, you should really see, if you go and see the movie Goodbye Lenin, it's quite old. It's about Germany, and basically the fashion was very poor. So I don't know how I created those designs when I really had no outside influences. And I just feel like, wow, I mean, where did this came from? So I'm really happy. Whatever comes out, I believe it's just through me, even though naturally, of course, we get influenced subconsciously. But I try to just be free in what comes out, and I accept it, and just see what comes out, and then I go like, wow. So like, what can I do with this, and why have I painted this? And see, so basically I open the door, go through, see if there is models to open, and just see where it leads, instead of looking for inspirations. But I suppose there would be one person, but it's to do with my gardening passion. So for many years I was doing landscape design. We had a gardening business, and I loved creating other people's gardens. So it's another creativity. So I took my creativity and put it through the garden, and I ended up using the foliage and the structure of plants. It's kind of like a moving, living canvas. So from the fashion to gardening, and then now, because of the gardening, I really like to be free and kind of more, not formal, but very informal. And landscaping, it involves sculptures, it involves other structures. And I really, really liked works of Hundevasa. So in 2011, I went to New Zealand. There's a town called Kawakawa. And I really wanted to see, public toilets. I know.
Well, yeah.
They were completed by this Austrian artist. They were completed in 1999. But he did other works, mainly in Austria. Well, actually all over the world. He's from stamps to paintings. But I really liked his architectural art form, I suppose. So if anything, my gardening, you've seen my garden, so my garden it's another creation altogether. So if I had slightly more money or help, I would have liked to kind of create something similar to Hundevasa style buildings or structures, or similar to Gaudi. So these two artists would have been along. I would say I would look up to them, but I am not necessarily inspired by them in my works.
Yeah. I mean, you're not originally from South London. I don't know how I realised that, but when did you decide to to move over here, and what brought you over here?
Right. So I came in 1995. I was 19 at that time. I spoke zero English.
Well, you're very English now.
It took me nearly 30 years to get to this level. So I didn't speak English, didn't have any connections here. I had no family. I just came literally on my own accord. And things didn't work out really well for me. But anyway, I overcame these challenges. And yeah, I just wanted to me, I love where I come from. I love Slovakia. I will always be Slovakian, and I'm proud to be Slovakian.
Yeah.
But my town, it's 100,000 people. And you know what? I think it was during the time when I used to go to this art school. I just felt my town is a little too small. There is not much happening. I mean, it's a beautiful, clean city, good for raising families, but I just felt like there is nothing happening.
Nothing else. Yeah.
I needed. Yeah. So it was the right thing to come to one of the biggest cities in the world, and I never looked back. Yeah, I never regretted the decision of coming.
Oh, that's good. And do you think London is the best for art? Do you think, or do you think there's other places in the UK just as good?
Oh, in UK would be definitely London. I think the most happens in London, most galleries, yes. But I had a chance to travel a little bit around England, and galleries I think England is really full of art. There are so many galleries. Like you know what, David, we have to really do our research. How many galleries are registered in England, because it's thousands, and I can tell you for a fact we don't have so many in Slovakia. And Slovakia would be, let's just say, the size of Scotland, maybe slightly bigger. So we just don't have nowhere near the amount of what's happening in here. So obviously British or English people love art, and definitely the right place.
I mean, I'd consider myself a newbie, so I'm like 2 years now, roughly. Next whenever, June-ish, it'll be 2 years. Do you think there's been like more and more galleries, art spaces than ever? Like when you first come over here, was there as many?
Well, hopefully there would be one more.
we'll have to see. With a good luck. Under my guys, but we'll see. But was it a struggle when you first come over to get exhibited? And
so I made the decision in 2020. For me, COVID time, for me, was actually a really good time for my own sanity, for my own self-development. I know COVID was very hard for majority of people all over the world, but for me, it's the only time in my life when I had time, space, and money. Because until then, there was always one or two or all three missing. Yeah. So I either didn't have a space and money. And you cannot be creative. You cannot do that. I remember when, I don't know how long I was in England, and I was thinking, like, how come people can go and volunteer? Like, I mean, where do they get money? Don't they have to pay bills? I just couldn't understand how you can do this. And I wanted to go and volunteer. I wanted to kind of participate and help out. It's just I couldn't because I had to pay rent. And obviously, owning my own property really helps a lot. So that's one thing I've done right. So finally, that was I got my property in 2006, so we're talking several years later. So in 2020, that's the first time when I had time, space and money to be creative and said, I'm doing this regardless.
Yeah, I mean, there's not many rich artists, are there? the elite are the ones that are rich. Most artists that I've met over the past couple of years, they've all got at the same level, got jobs on top, got families,
But I think my opinion is, if you can do what you're passionate about, and that's regardless if it's music, arts, play, if you can do in this life, in the short time we have, if you can be creative and do what you're passionate about, you are already rich. Not necessarily financially, but it's a privilege to do
definitely.
that. And Yeah, I have projects and ideas in my head that are really kind of big, but obviously I get grounded because they would cost lots more money, or they would involve flying to different countries, and that doesn't come cheap. Like I have an exhibition in my hometown in 2020. So this is the first time. So I've been solo. So 5 years after I have put myself on this artistic journey, 5 years later, I am absolutely super chuffed. I am exhibiting in my hometown gallery, which actually historically used to be an old prison. So imagine like Tower of London, you know, that kind of it has that kind of importance to my town. So basically that particular building, the prison, old prison, it's very well known, and it's been converted into a gallery. I remember passing by this building as a child, going like, "Oh my goodness, it's so spooky."
Yeah.
And suddenly, it's now a gallery exhibiting space, and I will be there in April for the whole month. But it's a group exhibition.
Yeah.
It's a group exhibition between three women. Out of, can I just say? Sorry, can I tell you a little bit more about this?
Of course. Yeah, carry on.
So one of the girls who I used to go to art school with, called Adriana. So me and her, we I think shared 5 years in the art school. So me and her, plus another lady who actually is an artist and operates the gallery. Between three women, we're going to be exhibiting, and I just feel I'm coming full circle to my old connections, to my old friends. It feels like I feel like a teenager, because I am exhibiting with another friend who is also an artist, part-time artist. And back home, it's just amazing.
So you're reconnecting, really?
I am reconnecting, and oh, sorry, I just dropped a piece of artwork. My cat came in, that's why. I forget you're recording.
That's all right. Don't worry. Yeah, sit down. Yeah, don't think of it as recording. We're just having a chat.
No, my cat came in and she was about to lie on top of my artworks. I mean, they're obviously fully dry, but I don't want any fluff.
Well, yeah, a little bit of
forgot.
different aspects to your art with little bits of fur on there, yeah?
No, trust me, I don't think the fur will sell.
You never know. You never know. Yeah, Tracy Emin got famous through leaving her bed in an untidy state, so a bit of fur might rocket you.
It's a different class, yeah. I don't think I have in me. I don't...
So you just don't fancy...
I don't think I want to be that quirky. I'm quirky. I don't think I want to be that quirky with something like that. And it will be a sad thing if you have to. But she's a good artist in her journey and her survival as a cancer.
Yeah, I mean
she's inspirational to many women. So credit to her. And I think it's Dame. I think she got, it's Dame.
But artists like that always start with a shock factor. It's not so much that now, but I find that the ones who get there are the ones who do things like that, and people go, they either love it or hate it, and then boom, they're in the public eye.
Yes, but I don't think it just kind of happens overnight. I'm sure you have to be on an art scene for some time. You have to, as you know, you need to be very good at networking. You need to be resilient and coming up with new ideas. But I think the main struggle at the moment is to get into galleries. I mean, I'm talking about a gallery that will take you under your wing, under their wing, and they would say, yes, this is our artist, we like her or his work. And that's the challenge, because I will email and I will come back a few months later to recheck or keep in contact. But then my schedule becomes so busy. Not that I forget, I just get so overwhelmed with everything else that's happening on exhibiting space and solo exhibitions and group exhibitions, dropping off artworks and all that. Before I realise, a year has passed and I haven't contacted the galleries. So it really, there is lots of, I call it like an iceberg. What you see on top, the artwork, that's the tip. But there's so much underneath that you don't see.
Do you have, when you start a piece, do you have an idea? Do you have images in your head of what you want to paint, or do you just sit in front of a blank canvas?
Right, I've realised I haven't mentioned my passion for classical music. So you, I absolutely love creating when I listen to classical music, but I need to be in the mood. I never force myself, let's just say, oh, I'm missing red pieces or yellow or something. I never force myself. I have to be in the right mood to create. And when I put the classical music on, select my choice of pain and I go for it. Because I think classical music is the only genre that I would say brings out my creativity as what you see. For people who know my work, they can see, and I feel, yes, this came because I was just creating, not overthinking, not overanalyzing, not being careful or scared to make a mistake, because I feel even though I'm precise or careful when I'm detailing, but when I first work on the initial structure, I just want to see how it comes, and I don't want to be too careful, because being careful, it means you could lose new ideas or new directions. And similarly, I keep my old works as well, because I feel, okay, I might not like them now, but it could be something that will inspire me for later in the future. So I might, once if I didn't have these works, then that idea could be gone. So just classical music and go for it.
And when you do something, you can always come back to it and see it in a different light, can't you? I think having a break from something that you're creating does help. It's like when I'm post-processing a picture, sometimes I just leave it and then come back in a week later and I go, it looks different to me.
Exactly,
But what kind of tools and sort of paints? You mostly oils is your most used, isn't it?
So it started with my art career started with canvases, and it was really kind of reproducing an original idea that I made in 2006, because I was like, what am I going to start with? Where do I start? So I ended up expanding the idea of this piece that is just behind me right now. It's hanging in my studio. And so I started kind of making similar themed artworks. So that was acrylic on canvas and then used enamels, ink, gold leaf. So that's kind of what is known as, that's what people kind of recognize me by. And I call it abstract in red, because the original piece is red piece. So I had to title it. I was a novice at titling abstract, so what am I going to title?
I think that's just as difficult as making the art itself. Is finding a title for things.
And you have no idea that later on you will have to be cataloguing, you have to be saving the images, and all this that would need to kind of come with it. So now how I title it, I think there is more clarity to titling artworks now. But so it's acrylic, and then I've met you after my arm break. Do you remember?
Yes, because behind the shoulder. What do you mean? Why? What you done? Fell off a ladder?
Fell off the ladder.
Well, talking about parallax. What do you think your experience of parallax is? Do you think it's a good thing?
It's good because they don't take commissions. They're not so greedy for, like some other places, they charge you for exhibiting space, and then they charge you commission consult.
Yeah.
And then many of the artists, as you know, the international artists who come to old art fest or any gallery sometimes. And on top of the cost and accommodation and travel and exhibiting and taxes and cost of materials, you need to make a living. So I really like that they don't take commissions. And their location, which now is moved to Charleston.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what that's going to be like.
Before it was Kensington. So I only knew that place as Kensington, and I felt it's a good location. Let's go for it. So I'm okay with parallax.
Yeah,
but I would like to get to the more so let's try actually old outfits that some of them the doors are closed to me because either they are way too expensive, or because you need to be at the gallery, you need to be part of the gallery in order to exhibit. So that's but I've no plans for.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see what Chelsea's going to be like. You're doing that in February, yeah?
Yes.
Yes, I'm hoping to. I was meant to book it now, but I've got to wait until the next couple of weeks before I can book it. But I want to go there because it's different. Hopefully, different people and stuff like that. So yes, and maybe I'll.
The building is also very interesting. It's kind of more historical building compared to the flooded, I would say. Would you say 1980s building, the Kensington?
Kensington, yeah, it's very sort of. It's not the nicest of buildings, to be honest. Is it? It's not historical, really. It's just a pile of bricks.
Give it another 50 years, it would be wow.
It's going to be damn good. Look at this. This is amazing. The architect that thought of this is out there.
Yeah. It was misunderstood.
Not like a concrete carbuncle, as Mr. Charles said.
Well, this brings the topic of living artists. Thanks, by the way, for doing this interview with living artists, because, we can express ourselves, because once we are gone, then... Can you imagine somebody else writing a piece about you, about David Swainsbury, the photography?
Well, it'd only need like one little paragraph and he's done. Yeah, it's just not going to be a lot about it.
No, when they're going to see 60,000 of your pictures in your laptop.
Yeah, well, then, you just sort of, I'll be in Tate Britain then, I should hope. And they can have a complete running, something like it'll be when I pass away and I'll become famous when I'm dead. They'll have holograms then, probably, so they can actually walk through my pictures. Now that's an idea. I've just had an idea there. But you're in a lot with the artist community, innit? You hang around with a lot of artists, don't you? With different, like Woodfield and
usually just on a professional level, because I really have no time to be social, kind of. During certain months, like July, August, September, October, I just have no time to really catch up socially with anyone.
Yeah.
I forget even artists. I have time for no one.
Yeah.
But yes, I have quite vast circle of artist friends, not just on Instagram, but good connections and keep in touch. And I like to maintain friendship. If I click with someone, I maintain it. So I always say to myself, no more friends this year, and then every year I just gather a few more and I maintain. But it's similar to my garden. You've seen how many plants I have. I think I can just keep up with friendships, connections, people.
Well, you just get a collection of friends and just bury them in the garden, can't you? So you've got your plants. Just pick them out now and again when you want to talk to them.
No, because, so talking about artists, we are a particular bunch, because there would be arguments about who goes where, because it's all about being in the best place, the most prime spot, sorry.
They can be very cliquey, can't they, artists? And we spoke about this before, about where we promote each other on Instagram and stuff like that, where a lot of artists don't and are very funny about reposting an Instagram post or a reel or a story and that. But we do it automatically. We like each other's stuff and that, because that's what we do. That's the way we are, I think, as personalities. But other artists don't do that.
Yeah, I'm very happy to, because it just makes sense for me, because I wish you well. I suppose it comes from a good heart. I wish you well and your success and your happiness. I'm happy. I have no envy, not just towards you, but to be honest, actually, nobody else. I have no envy towards anyone else, because I'm just happy doing what I'm doing in my own world. So for me, to help to publicize that you are doing events somewhere, it's not a biggie. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, no, it's on the same. But I find that some of them are a bit, But
it's not just sorry to have interrupted, but it's not just for people who I know. There is this artist in Ghana, and I just really like his work. To a point where actually I would love to go to Ghana and to see how the Ghanaian influences will influence my art, or will they influence? And I would love to go and visit and see his work. And his wife also is probably quite famous singer. So if I see an artist, similarly, there are beautiful works by AP Collective in Australia. Typical Aboriginal artworks. When I had more time, especially when I have time, if I like the works, I just post it on. I just go put it on my highlights and say look at this amazing work.
Mm-hmm.
anything. And I don't mind that it's on my highlight, because so what? Just let everybody else share what is beautiful. So yeah, I share other people who I don't know. There's another amazing artist in America, Martin Taylor, I think his name is, and he is so quirky. I always think like he can't produce more, because I follow him religiously, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And then he comes up with something else. I'm like, no. And it's all similar things. Like, no, how did he do that? He again, just produce something
I think you're
different.
the same. I think you just create all the time. And now with your House Keys project, I think that's so original. And
yes.
Because funny enough, one of my next question was going to be your future goals, but that at the moment isn't it? Is that the biggest thing at the moment? Or just a sideline or running together with everything else?
No, it is. It really is. It came so unexpectedly. So I had a solo exhibition in summer. It was the first week after I hanged, and I was going to invigilate my exhibition in Woodfield Pavilion called Emancipation of Colour. And then that morning, on Saturday morning, I think I've handed all my keys, and I looked at them and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't have these 3 attachments last year. So what did my keys look like before?
Yeah.
And then this idea just came to me. And I swear, you were the first person. I think I called you the same morning. I think I called you. And I said, David.
Yeah, well, we could have fell out at that point when you said I'm photographing keys, and I was like, all right then. Be like that.
I even offered to you, would you like to do it?
No, it's like, it's your idea, you got to go with it.
Because I felt like, photography is your thing.
No, but it's everybody's thing.
But we are going to be working together, because it's such a mighty project. I really... I do recognize when I need help. I'm happy to ask. I try to do everything myself. I don't like to bother people, but this is such a good project. I would like to also work with you, and I offered it to you, and I really appreciate your help.
It's your editing. It's yours. It's your baby. It's your little keys. You got to go with it. But if
well, the idea is mine, and how I arrange how I arrange the keys. On a piece of paper, so I suppose that is my creativity.
And if Tate Modern is listening to this, they need to pick it up. They need to go with it. In fact, any gallery substantial need to go with this, because this is something very different. Very different.
I don't know. Sometimes when you you can get lost, because when you come up with a good idea, when you photograph something and you go like, oh my God, this is so good, but then you end up also, or at least I end up questioning myself, is it? But is it really? But this, for House Keys idea, there is no doubt, there is not a single shadow or doubt about how amazing this exhibition could be.
Oh, definitely.
If Tate Modern takes it on, because I think their space is the best space to do the projections of 1,000 house keys. Which is my goal. That's my goal of 1,000 house keys, but it's not my ultimate goal. So 1,000 keys is towards an exhibition. And I will take this project to anyone else who will have me, or you and I, we can develop this project further privately. But I really think Tate Modern is the logical sense. Imagine the people just coming to see the exhibition and then participating, because you see what is beautiful about house keys is each person has attached certain things. So it's kind of how, the ornamental, the sentimental,
it's individual. Every single one's individual
things, and how they are put together and what is missing, and there are so many stories to that. So it would be great if general public who comes to Tate Modern gets, obviously if they want to, they can have the house key photographed, and that will be projected during the exhibition. How?
Yeah, it's very different. It's very different. That is just different, so different, and I think it's really, I don't know, there's something captured in that, the fact that every single set of keys are different, because they have certain things. There's people that travel, so they'll get a key ring everywhere they go, or they put little toys on them, or just even just a plain set of keys that have been beaten up have their own look.
just when I didn't know what door I will open when I lacked my keys, always lacked my keys, but I had no idea what I ended up witnessing till I started photographing. And just think that crossed my mind just now, like when you were saying from traveling, but not just traveling. So there was this person, and I never want to describe if it's a man, woman, background, age, nationality, sex, age, none of that. I don't want to describe that. But this person had two kind of earplugs because of tinnitus. The person is a tinnitus sufferer, and just things like this. So these not just sentimental things, but sometimes practical, and you just don't know what the next person holds in their pocket till it comes out, and you're like, wow, what is this?
Right,
and oh, that is amazing.
It will. Yeah, it will take off because it's something I've never seen anything like that. Yeah, it's very different, and I think it'll definitely work. And good luck. Other than that, is there anything else that you've got ideas of, or are you just waiting for something else?
Yes, I do. I do have. Yes, I am. I am not a one-trick pony, as you know. Okay, so earlier when I was explaining about parallax when I broke my arm, so I was gonna say, because of my arm break, I couldn't do heavier lifting or picking canvases or anything like that. So that's when my style changed into what I called framed abstract media, and basically it's acrylic animals. So that's a completely different style to my first type of work that came on the art scene. But since then, my next kind of challenge, or my next direction, what I would like to do, probably medium-sized canvases. I absolutely love proverbs, sayings, wisdom, things like this. So I would like to produce canvas works based on language. So for example, raining cats and dogs, that's one that just I already sold one piece last year. There is another one I finished a week ago, but I would like to do them on bigger scales and different styles. So at the moment, the raining cats and dogs is a little bit kind of like naive, kind of cutesy, but I would like to execute them one day on a bigger canvas, more realistic, different combinations. So that's, for example, one saying. I work with an artist called Yuki Otake, and I was asking her, so what do you have in Japan? What do you say that is unusual? And what they have, what she told me was, it would translate as, oh, it's such an odd day, foxes will marry. So how I envisage, I know. Yeah. So I kind of envisage of painting a fox in a wedding gown and obviously explaining the meaning. And then another one was Arabic or Lebanese, Egyptian. I think they kind of share this. So we would translate it into thick as thieves. But they say two butts, like two bums in one pants.
Okay, right,
So I kind of envisage two bums, and they will not be skinny. So kind of like doing kind of few kind of play on words, play on wisdom. One thing that many languages or nationalities we share, for example, apple doesn't fall far from a tree. So that's another one that is in many countries. Just kind of a series, maybe 10 to 15 paintings that I will just, you see, there are many sayings that are beautiful, but I just cannot see how I would execute them at the moment onto canvas. It needs to create an idea of the composition, and if the composition isn't there, it's going to be hard. For example, I really, really like the saying from Mahatma Gandhi, eye for eye will make the whole world blind. But I really struggle, how would I execute that onto canvas? I don't want to make it dark. I want it to, these canvases, I want to make them kind of more lighter, more kind of like, not too heavy. It's a
difficult one to portray, isn't it? Because if we're all blind, we can't paint, can we? So,
true.
But Anyway, thank you very much for
So I
talking
think-
to me.
Yeah.
And
Welcome. How did we do on time?
yeah, we did fine with the timing. We didn't go on for too long.
Over and out.
Oh, anyway, thank you very much. That was Jana there. Always difficult on the phone. A little bit of a delay between the pair of you. But yeah, that's so here we go. That was the episode 1. Hope you enjoyed it. I had a very interesting conversation, and yeah, I've learned a lot and continually do so. Hopefully you'll join me for episode 2. We'll have another guest to speak to and to find out all about their life and what's inspiring and makes them do this thing called art. Thank you very much, and that was It's Art at the end of the day.